rankings.
Yeah.
Be honest. If you know boxing, be honest. There's levels.
Yeah. And it shows, bro. It shows.
Good look.
He's very sharp. That's all I can.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous. Don't look like he's a 46.
He looks like he's 36 or 26.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis is left in shock after witnessing Manny Pacquiao's extraordinary training for the Barrios fight. Despite advancing in age, Pacquiao moves with lightning-fast speed and devastating power, looking like a beast in the gym. His sharp footwork and precise punches demonstrate he's far from finished and still capable of dominating once again. Teammates of Manny Pacquiao reveal that during sparring sessions, he remains just as explosive and sharp as ever. They note he trains with the intensity of his prime, going 8 vigorous rounds without showing signs of fatigue. His movements are crisp, and his punches land with perfect timing, leaving everyone impressed by his stamina and focus. Pacquiao isn't just maintaining, he's pushing the pace and surprising all with his readiness.
Everybody is surprised, so it's gonna be a good fight.
What's the most impressive? His speed, his power, his footwork?
It's everything, because you don't see him slow down. People say he's slowing down, but he's not. I mean, that's where you exactly going to be surprised, because he's sharp, really, to be honest with you. Very, very sharp. That's why I don't want to say anything else, but
No, leave it at that.
you know,
But how?
I live it that way. But
Okay, so let me ask you this. In 11 days, he steps into the ring at the MGM in Las Vegas to fight Mario Barrios.
you know,
How does the fight end?
there's a chance of knockout.
Manny,
I can see that.
you can see a
I'm not
knockout?
gonna say what round, but
Just that Manny wins either way, knockout or decision.
yeah, I don't think decision. Maybe the decision is kind of. I don't know if it's going to this touch, really, because the way
Manny's that
I see
explosive.
everything is. I don't know.
Okay, now let's talk about his son Jim for a second. How talented is his son?
He's a very good fighter. You know, he's
Good
going
power.
there.
I've seen him knock people out.
Yeah, he's but power. He have you know, but right now he's still you know, we want him to grow more. You know, so to be ready. Actually, he's ready already. So, we just want it to work in silence, and we keep it down.
What's your message to all Pacquiao fans who are watching this, who are getting ready, who are excited for Manny Pacquiao Barrios, July 19, Las Vegas?
Tune in to this coming fight, because it's gonna be a very good fight.
Don't go to the kitchen. Don't go to the bathroom.
Yep.
Don't look at your phone.
Yes,
Because it can
just
happen.
focus on that, because I know Mario Barrios also is training hard too. Manny also, he trained like there's no tomorrow.
Roy Jones Jr. confidently believes Manny Pacquiao can claim another world title in his comeback. Despite doubts about his age and time away from the ring, Jones highlights Pacquiao's work ethic, experience, and fighting spirit as key advantages. He describes Pacquiao as an athlete who can defy the odds, emphasizing that his discipline and hunger prove he's still in it to win.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez, because that's not the same Pacquiao. That's not the Pacquiao game. But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever. When it goes, that's not reality. But in the business world, it is, because look how much money he made.
Here we go. Who's greater than me? I said Sugar Ray Robinson. He said Sugar Ray Robinson. How many wins he got? I said he got like over 100 wins. He stopped for me. He said, but who got more championship titles? Me or him? I said, hold on, Floyd. He said, answer the question. I said, Floyd, there's more titles now than then. There was just one then. That's no fair. Answer the question. I said, okay, you. Do I not have 28 titles? And I was just like, I don't know. He said, oh, you're supposed to be that. Huh? But the reason why I said that is because there's minor and major titles. Who else greater than me? I said Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran. He said, oh my God. I said, you said something about Pacquiao. Yeah, I said, I think you'll beat Pacquiao every day of the week, but I think he had a greater career. He said, you ain't think Pacquiao was on steroids? I said, he didn't fail any tests, Floyd. He said, look at me in my eyes. I can't say, man, he didn't fail. He said, oh man, you fake. I saw that as an initiation. This is what you about to get. Nobody's greater than Floyd. My thing is, he should feel that way, but you can't expect everybody to feel that you're the greatest.
Mario Barrios has publicly expressed respect for Manny Pacquiao outside the ring but makes it clear that come fight night, respect doesn't matter. He views Pacquiao as just another challenger aiming for his belt and plans to treat him accordingly. Barrios emphasizes his serious approach, refusing to be swayed by Pacquiao's legendary status.
Ever since the fight was announced, I think initially I was kind of just like shocked, like man, dude, like, Pacquiao wants to fight me, right? He wants to fight me for my title. I think from sport, boxing, and I think just sports in general, Manny is that name. When you think about boxing, right, he's somebody that comes to mind. At least for me, like I've been watching him since I was, since my earliest memories of boxing. Manny has been like, okay, like he's the man. Now he wants to come out, retirement. He wants to fight me for my title. I can't look at it as anything other than, it's just another opponent trying to take what's mine. He's outside the ring. I have, nothing but respect for him, nothing but respect for what he's accomplished, for the person he is, what he does, for his country and war. But as soon as we step in the ring, he's in there trying to take what's mine. I'm not training with the mentality, that I'm getting ready to fight an icon, fight a legend. At the end of the day, he's just another man, trying to fight for my title. He's going in there trying to, take my title, and I got to do whatever it takes to make sure he does.
Brian Mendoza acknowledges Pacquiao's greatness but remains pragmatic about age's impact. He notes that while Pacquiao's speed and instincts are still sharp, physical limitations might surface in the later rounds. Mendoza's analysis suggests fans should be realistic about the challenges aging fighters face in maintaining peak performance over a demanding fight.
Don't say that before the interview.
I don't. This is an unbiased opinion.
Man, I'm looking forward to it, even just as a boxing fan, obviously coming up, there was always, seeing Pacquiao's fights and stuff, and now to see the homie, going up against him like that, it's wild, man. It's a wild feeling. I know even more so for him, but nah, man, I think at the end of the day, I feel like, the age will show up in the fight. I think at first, he's had people talk about the layoff, but it's also a rest for someone at that age. So I feel like he's going to be rested. I feel like you might see, hints a little old Manny, not, no pun intended, the old Manny, little bit flashes of that in there, but I think at the end of the day, man, Mario's super sharp. This is the sharpest I've ever seen him, this far in camp. I'm super excited, bro, and he's gonna put on a great show. I still kind of lean towards like a decision, but regardless, it's Mario's way. If there is a stoppage, I think it'll be in like the second half, like I said, because I think that's really when the age is gonna show, because you can look good in the gym, man, but once those bright lights are on you, anything that's wrong will come out. So as much of a legend man he is, I think, he bit off a little more than he can chew with Barrios.
Despite skepticism about his age, many fans believe Pacquiao's natural talent and ring intelligence are still intact. Recent training footage has reignited hope, showing Pacquiao with impressive strength, explosiveness, and unorthodox angles. Supporters argue that his stamina and relentless style remain his greatest assets, fueled by faith in his resilience and willpower.
Manny Pacquiao returns to the ring against a young fighter, champion WBC, Mario Barrios. How do you see that fight playing out?
Yeah, Barrios is a tall guy, and he's a tough guy. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt because Pacquiao is champion, the holder of the records of 8 divisions, and he knows how to fight, he knows how to win, so you always got to give it that opportunity for him to show up. And now whoever shows up in that ring, whether it's a desire to win or just try to be there, that's a question that we have to see. But I believe that he has the ability to do something to win the fight against Barrios.
Analysts agree that Pacquiao's best strategy is to come out aggressive and smart from the start. Recognizing that stamina might decline later, they advise him to dominate early with his signature speed to build momentum and avoid fatigue. The key is to take control early and capitalize on Barrios' slower adjustments.
I was talking to somebody about Manny coming back fighting Mario Barrios. And this was the analogy I gave. Your timing is just slows down. That's time. Time slows you down. And so to me, I think Manny has to come out very strong, very fast in the first couple of rounds because his gas tank is what it used to be. At 46 years old, you come out and let's just say hypothetically your gas is half full at 46 years old. I'd rather try to use that full tank
When I got something.
in 2 or 3 rounds
Yeah.
and really get off on this kid because he has the kind of style. Styles make fights. He's got the perfect style for Manny to do what he do. But the further that fight goes, the more that's gonna go down. He ain't young no more when he does this. It ain't gonna do this no more. It ain't gonna go down and then come back up. He not gonna create space, take a deep breath, and that thing shoot up the way it used to. He ain't gonna do that.
Observers note that Barrios' defensive style could leave him vulnerable to Pacquiao's relentless offense. Experts suggest that Pacquiao can exploit Barrios' defensive gaps with quick combinations and sharp angles. If Pacquiao remains alert and avoids early damage, he could pose serious problems for Barrios.
Pacquiao Barrios, bro. Who do you like?
It's hard to know, at the age of Pacquiao, what we're going to get from him, But I'll tell you this. Depending on his conditioning, right? Depending on how much he can pop in on that instep that he brought to me, that notorious fast instep, if he can pop in that instep and if Pacquiao can get in, I know he can hurt Mario Barrios. Defense of Mario Barrios is still suspect. He is willing to get caught. You can catch the kid. Not hard.
Questions about Barrios' pedigree persist, especially since he's been stopped by opponents lacking Pacquiao's speed and power. Analysts see Barrios as a solid fighter but not among the elite, creating opportunities for Pacquiao to push the tempo and force him into uncomfortable exchanges. Many consider this a winnable fight if Pacquiao sticks to a disciplined game plan.
Are you cool with Pacquiao against Mario Barrios?
I am. I'm cool with it. If I was cool with Manny Pacquiao coming back and fighting Keith Thurman, I'm definitely going to be cool with this one. Barrios is not a puncher. Thurman was one of the biggest punchers in boxing. I think he's going to be just fine with Mario Barrios, who we know what he is on the top level. He comes up short. He's been stopped by fighters that are less than Manny Pacquiao and Davis. So I like this fight. I think he's not going to be an overwhelming favorite, but I think it'll be a 50-50 fight, regardless of his inactivity and age. His explosiveness, even at this age, his greatness, and the fact that you can never know what Barrios you're going to get. And yeah, man, I like this fight. Why not? Nostalgia, marketable. Everyone will be behind him. It'll be internationally successful. I'm in.
How are you comparing Pacquiao coming back this summer at 46 after not fighting in 5 years to Pacquiao in 2019 fighting Keith Thurman, which came after back-to-back wins over Lucas Matisse and Adrian Broner? Those two scenarios could not be more different.
Some experts argue that, if age weren't a factor, Pacquiao would be the favorite. They believe his fundamentals and boxing IQ remain superior, especially if he utilizes the volume and footwork of his prime. Recent reports from his camp highlight his exceptional training, with multiple rounds of sharp movement, combinations, and mental focus, indicating he's still in top form.
So former 8 Division World Champion, Hall of Famer, Manny Pacquiao is now gearing up to take on welterweight champion Mario Barrios. This is going to be an interesting fight. I see a lot of people talking about Pacquiao saying that he's a former shell of himself, which he probably is. But make no mistake, 60% Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat on a lot of these young guys. Now, people are talking about Mario Barrios because he beat Udonis Ugas, someone who beat Manny Pacquiao last time out. Styles make fights, and this training footage of Manny Pacquiao training, I don't know. I think Barrios might be in for a long night, especially given his last time out with Remo.
Paulie Malignaggi raises concerns about Pacquiao maintaining his form throughout a full fight. While praising his elite preparation, he warns that aging bodies struggle with stamina and leg strength in championship rounds. Nonetheless, he concedes Pacquiao's special talent might help him surmount these natural limitations.
What do you think about, Manny's decision and obviously getting thrown right into a title shot?
When you get older, your legs are not the same. You may have very good legs for a few rounds, but as you drag out a long fight, your legs start to betray you. I felt that later in my career. I would get into shape, but now all of a sudden, around 10, 11, 12, my legs are dragging this, bro. Pacquiao, having not fought in a while, 46 years old. A lot of tough fights, a lot of wear and tear on Manny Pacquiao. But Manny had 70 plus pro fights. A lot of, and he wasn't a defensive specialist. A lot of back and forth impact. 46, he had a lot of heavy wear and tear into his late 30s and early 40s. So how are his legs going to be? That's my biggest thing, because I think, Manny was a range-changing fighter. He was he was that style, in and out. He's not a pocket guy. And an in-and-out guy needs legs. And needs his legs the whole fight, unless he lands something big. I will say, I think Mario Barrios, I think he's tough.
Barrios points out that many great fighters have faltered when trying to beat the clock. He suggests Pacquiao could face a similar fate, especially if the fight extends into the later rounds. With youth and endurance on his side, Barrios believes Pacquiao might lack the knockout power he once had and would need sustained strength to secure an early finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Manny Pacquiao will actually be fighting Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title. If this man comes back and beats Barrios, which, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think he's running this fight even close. I think he could actually get stopped in my opinion. It's not because Manny's not great or nothing. He's one of the greatest of all time. You could argue that he is the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? 8th division champion. But he's just too old, man. This man is 46 years of age. If he wins this fight, he ties Bernard Hopkins' record for the oldest champion in boxing. That would be crazy, but if I'm being honest, I just don't see him winning. I see him getting stopped, dropped and stopped, if I'm being honest. He was having trouble with Ampo, Ampo not even a boxer, he a top boxer. Yeah, I just don't think he'll, I just think he's too old, to be honest. I think he's too old to win the time. Let me know what y'all think down below.
Interestingly, Barrios' trainer offers a different perspective, suggesting Pacquiao's inactivity might not be a weakness. He hints that Pacquiao could have been training quietly all along, staying in shape during his absence. This could make him more dangerous, as his body might be fully recovered and well rested, showing that he never truly left the sport behind.
So Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. And Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May. After that, he wants to return in the summer for a world title, try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now, I have every issue in the world with this. Manny Pacquiao is my favorite fighter of all time. Not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Jordan Ugas. In that fight, he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year, when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against the kickboxer Rukia Anpo first. He looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old. And not that Barrios is a scary knockout artist or a pound-for-pound level talent. If there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios is a younger, bigger guy. He's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
While many celebrate Pacquiao's return, some critics feel the fight shouldn't have been made. They argue that bringing retired legends back for lucrative bouts can harm their legacy and send a misleading message about boxing. With Pacquiao's legendary status already cemented, stepping into the ring again, especially against a younger opponent, might risk tarnishing his historic career.